Hey everyone and welcome to my channel. I hope that you are all doing good. In today's video, I'm showing you guys how I created this acrylic design set. I absolutely loved doing this set, so I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'm working on my Glamerliz practice hand. I already applied some stiletto tips, clipped off the end, shaped them and applied a thin layer of clear acrylic, so we're all ready to go straight in with the design. So we're starting off on the pointer finger and I'm doing an extended nail bed. So I place my bead of acrylic down, I'm blending out the back of that bead so it blends nicely into the nail plate, and then I'm patting the acrylic out and using the sides of my brush to create that smile line shape. I'm trying to do as much work as I can with my brush because then I will have less filing to do. However, I did still file it crisp and I also left that part in the video today for you guys to check out. I'm then placing down my next bead of acrylic, again doing the same, blending out the back of that bead so that there isn't a huge ridge for the next bead of acrylic to come over, and then I'm patting and pressing this down over the previous bead of acrylic just to build up that nail bed area and make sure the height of that wall for the extended nail bed is the same height all the way around. I'm then going to come in with my cuticle bead. So I point my finger ever so slightly down, as you can see here, place my cuticle bead down, and I do this so that then the acrylic won't run back and flood that cuticle area. It's just letting gravity do its thing and pulling that acrylic down away from the cuticle. And then as you can see, I'm just using light touches with my brush to feather that out and blend it all over the previous beads of acrylic. And then I'm just checking it from all angles to make sure that the acrylic is the same height all the way around. So then we've moved on to the middle finger and I've placed this bead straight down at the cuticle area, and I'm focusing on getting a nice neat cuticle first of all, and then I'm just patting and pressing this acrylic down. This is going to be a colour block design, so this first block of acrylic I'm just getting it into the rough shape of what I want it to be, so pretty much exactly the same as with the smile line. And then I'm just using my brush to create the shape, and then again I will file this nice and crisp. I will leave these two to completely set before filing, so I'll move on and do something else whilst I'm waiting. I then actually decided to come in with another bead of acrylic to fix up the cuticle area. I just wasn't 100% happy with it, and then as I faded it out I just felt as though my ratio was slightly off between the previous bead of acrylic, so it just looked a little patchy. So I then come in with another bead just to at the wall where the wall is, just so the acrylic colours matched, and then it did make this section look a little bit bulky, but it was nothing that my file couldn't fix. In all honesty, I did feel as though my application was a bit off on this set. It was just one of those days, to be honest, but on those days you've got your file to come to the rescue, and thankfully it massively come to the rescue in this set. So once I finish faffing around, I will leave this to set and move on. Moving on to the ring finger, and it's a full nail of champagne pink, and because this colour is a core powder it doesn't need to be capped, so I'm just going to build up the entire nail with this colour. So I place my bead of acrylic down, blend out the back of it, and then I'm just patting and walking it down towards the free edge. I'm keeping my brush nice and wet with monomer so I'm able to pull that acrylic and manipulate it into place without it sticking to my brush. Just trying to keep everything as neat as I can, just because again you do have less filing, but like I said, my file come in handy in this set. So then I'm going to come in with my next bead of acrylic, and I'm just working up the nail really, to be honest. So I'm placing it down, doing exactly the same with each bead, blending the back of the bead out and then pulling it down the nail. Now lots of people apply their acrylic in different ways, so just find what works for you. And as always, you can see I'm just constantly keeping my brush with quite light strokes, just blending out that acrylic just so that then there's no marbling between the colours. So I'm now placing down my cuticle bead. I've placed it a little bit back from the cuticle and I'm pushing it up, blending it into place. And with this bead, I'm leaving the bulk of the acrylic in that back third just to build up my apex. And then I'm just making sure to keep all of that acrylic off of what would be the skin. Obviously here it's a silicone hand, but it's good to always be in that habit of making sure none is touching what would be the skin. If you do get any on the skin, it's going to cause lifting, and over time could cause allergies and overexposure. So it's always best to not get any products on the skin. And then here I'm just coming in with some acrylic where I felt like it was needed. So always look at your nail from all different angles so you can see if there's any dips, and just apply the acrylic where it needs to be basically. This was quite a long nail, so naturally I felt as though it needed to make sure that all that strength and structure was there. And I originally kept this nail as a plain nail because I was going to do some crystals and some striping tape on it, but then when I come to the end of the set I decided to come in with that foil instead, and I felt like it went really nice against the pale pink background. So here I'm coming in with the 100 grit side of my nail file, and I'm just using this to get that nice crisp smile line shape to that extended nail bed. Like I said, I had done a lot of the work with my brush, so I only really had to come in and just make it nice and neat and crisp with my file. But I do this just by making sure I hold my file right up straight against that acrylic. You can kind of see by using where the dust lands how your shape is, if that makes sense. So you can just see by where the dust is falling, you can see that you've got the correct shape there, and if you need to straighten up one side more than the other, you can. So I did also do the same on the colour block nail. I just went across with my file to make sure it was a nice crisp straight line, and now I'm cleaning away all of that dust, ready to come in with my next colour. So originally on the pointer finger I was going to colour block the tip, so I was going to come in with white, block it off, and then do glitter at the tip, but I decided I wanted to fade the glitter over it. But I kind of decided sort of like halfway through doing the nail that I wanted to do it that way. So again, my application on this free edge wasn't the best, but it all filed through fine. So here I'm coming in with a CJP Milky Pink. Now, although it's called Milky Pink, it's just like a softer white acrylic. And I'm just making sure that I get this right up against my extended nail bed. I'm making sure that there's no gaps or anything. And then I'm just fading it out. So this is where I kind of decided, actually, I want this to be a glitter tip fade. So I kind of sort of worked a little bit different with my acrylic than what I originally did. I sort of stopped building up the white so much, but I'm just basically at this point making sure that that first bit of area all around the extended nail bed is fully covered in that white acrylic. It looks really, really messy, but you file it all away at the end and you're left with your crisp smile line that you earlier created. I have to admit though, this now just looked atrocious. Like as I was doing it, I was thinking I'm making such a mess of this, and I just kept coming in and applying a bit more acrylic and hoping for the best. And when it come to filing, I was so relieved that it all filed through okay. So as you can see, I've just faded that white out a bit towards the free edge, and then I'm coming in with this beautiful glitter. This is Aurora from the Glitter Nail Angel, and it is absolutely stunning. So I'm picking that up with a small bead of clear acrylic and placing it down at the free edge and just blending it back over that white slightly. And then off camera, I did cap this little segment in some clear acrylic just so all that glitter was protected from filing. So then we've moved on to the colour block nail, and the next section is going to be a completely glitter section. So I'm using that same Aurora and I'm just applying a thin layer to start with, just to get sort of a base down, working quite wet. So as you can see, I've got my brush full of monomer, so I'm able to get a nice thin layer of glitter down. And then I just come in over the top and tap on some more glitter, simply because this is quite a chunky mix and I didn't want to put a finer glitter down underneath. So I just felt by doing that thin layer of glitter and acrylic first of all, I can make sure the entire nail was fully covered, and then I could tap on those chunkier pieces over the top. Now this glitter reflects the light absolutely beautiful once it was capped and filed. You will see at the end, once it was capped and top coated, sorry. So you'll see at the end it is absolutely stunning. And if you would like to purchase it, I will leave the link to the Glitter Nail Angel in the description box below, as well as a discount code that gets you 5% off your order. So moving on to the little finger is going to be an entire glitter now because like I said, I absolutely loved this glitter. I did apply a thin wash of champagne pink down at the cuticle area just so I could get a nice neat cuticle with my acrylic rather than my glitter. And then I'm just using wet beads of clear acrylic, dipping into my glitter mix and applying a nice thin layer of glitter to the entire nail. I then, using my wet brush, come over the top and tap on a lot more of the chunkier pieces that are in this glitter mix. And as you can see, again, I'm keeping my brush nice and wet with monomer so that I'm able to nudge that glitter and acrylic around without it all sticking in my brush. And here you can see this is where I'm just tapping on the raw glitter to build up the coverage and use a lot of those chunky pieces. You can kind of see there's some chunky hexes, but it's mainly these larger pinkish iridescent circles. It's just a beautiful mix. It's my current favourite glitter mix. I will then leave all the glitter to set a little bit and then I will encapsulate all of the glitter in clear acrylic. I think I did all my encapsulating off camera today though. So this is what the nails looked like once I had capped them, filed, shaped, buffed and all of that jazz. I absolutely loved what this glitter looked like even before top coating. But before top coating, I'm going to come in and apply just a little bit of this pliable striping tape just across that colour block. I wanted to have a little something extra to the set. So I'm just applying that across that line where the acrylic and glitter meet. This striping tape is from the Crystal Studio, by the way, and I believe they now do it in a couple of different colours as well, but I absolutely love the silver. Just going to trim off the excess. You can also file away the excess if you'd prefer, and then it will all be sealed in once you top coat anyway. And then I'm going to come in on the ring finger and apply a layer of the Nirvana Nail Supplies Goddess foil gel. I absolutely love this foil gel. I only very recently discovered it, but it works wonderfully. So I apply a thin layer to the entire nail and then I will pop it in my LED lamp to cure for 30 seconds. If you're using a UV lamp, I believe it needs a 2-minute cure. And then whilst that's curing, I thought I would show you the beautiful foil that I'm going to be using. This one is from Charlie's Nailer. I do also have a discount code for Charlie's, which is always in the description box below. So I've cut out the piece of foil that I want to use and I'm just rubbing that straight onto the cured foil gel. It will still feel quite tacky. So I'm really rubbing that image down using my thumb and fingers. I do also come in with my tweezers, I believe, and just rub out any creases with those. And I just keep on rubbing just to make sure that image is transferred as well as possible. And then I'm just going to lift away the clear foil bit, whatever the backing paper I believe you'd call it. But before pulling it away completely, I just check to see if any of that image hasn't transferred and then give it another rub. And then as you see, you've got, I'd say here I got 95% of the image transferred perfectly. There was just a few little spots where it hadn't transferred, so I just come in and matched them up with the pieces that are missing on the foil. And then this is what the final result of that looked like. I thought it looked absolutely beautiful, and as you see, it was so easy to do. So then it's time to come in and do the absolute best bit, which is top coating. So I'm using my CJP tack-free top gloss and I'm going to top coat all of the nails with a nice even layer of this, and I will then pop them in my LED lamp to cure for 60 seconds. Now on the nails with the striping tape and the foil, I do a slightly thicker layer of top coat just to make sure that that is all sealed in. However, if I was doing this design on myself, rather than doing a thicker layer, I would do 2 thin coats, but just because it's on my Glamerliz and for the purpose of the video, I just did 1 slightly thicker coat just to make sure that it was fully coated. And just look at this glitter, you can start to really see it now, but I do show it better when I leave a clip at the end of what the finished result looked like. As I said at the start of this video, I absolutely loved doing this set of nails. They were a set that I would 110% wear on myself, and for me, nails is just a hobby, but it's a massive sort of happy place that I go to when I'm doing nails. I just can take my mind off of all the other crap that's going on in the world and bash out an acrylic design set and feel a lot better after. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching the video. If you did, then please give it a thumbs up or let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you're watching and you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would absolutely love it if you considered hitting subscribe. I have left a little clip at the end showing what the finished result looked like, and I sort of flipped my hand around in a second and you can see how the glitter reflects the light. It's absolutely beautiful. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and stay well. Lots of love, and I shall see you all again soon. Bye bye.